Huask, huskoich, huaskanum, or we could just make something up. Huskof, huskaiven. Quain, you took it from the lexicon. Oh no. I mean, right? We are making up the language. So, what would be the most perverse route possible? Goodness gracious. Hi, YouTube. You've just joined us in time to see a bunch of work on noun paradigms in Lenethailef. So, if that sounds like your cup of tea, I raised the actual cup of tea I have. Let's go. Let's do it. All right. Now we can go into the side webcam. Now we can get started. So, if you will recall from our previous work on Lenethailef, we have a very interesting set of noun paradigms, and I've written them here. Basically, what happened was, depending on the final vowel of the proto-language form, we have somewhat different endings in Lenethailef. And we also have this effect of the way stress is counted, where we actually have 3 different stems for each noun. We have the A stem. I don't know if I can... I've got too many things here. Basically, here's our little legend. The green cells represent forms that take the A stem, which is the citation form of the noun, the nominative case. The blue cells represent forms which take the B stem, and the orange cells represent forms that take the C stem. And basically, this is just down to how many syllables and the syllable weight in the language as it developed from Proto-Kal into Lenethailef. So we have here, written for the first time in the romanization system that we developed last time, a few noun paradigms. So it sounds something like this. We have the A stem nouns, which look like huask, which is the word for crow. I'm seeing a request in here to zoom in a bit. Yeah, let's do that. How's that for you? Okay, cool. So we have huask, which is crow, and then we have a bunch of different case forms. We have huask in the nominative / genitive, which come together in Lenethailef. Could be an issue. And we have the accusative, dative, simulative, and causal forms, which take the B stem. So for the noun huask, we have the B stem husk. E on its own is a schwa. And so we have huask in the nominative and genitive, huskoich in the accusative, huskanum in the dative, huskof in the simulative, and huskaiven in the causal. And if you're wondering about the romanization, we have allophonic intervocalic voicing of fricatives. And then, so those are the B stem forms. And then the C stem forms look a bit different still. We have the comitative huazuref, I believe it is, and the locative / instrumental huazurum. So the stem A is essentially huask. Stem B is husk plus an ending. And stem C is huazura plus an ending. So that's the shape of things. And then basically what happens is the endings will differ slightly depending on what declension we're dealing with, because we have all these fun coalescence rules and fun things like that. So we have the dative for A stems is huskanum. For Ya stems, same, astamanum. But for schwa stems, we get quilenum. So instead of anum, we get anum. And for E stems, we get phenum. So we just have num. For O stems, we have menthonum. For U stems, we have havunum. And for E stems, we have tamanenum. So anum. Yeah, all sorts of stuff like this. Lots of fun. I'm going to, as Quain points out, nominative genitive syncretism isn't per se a problem. What I think Quain is getting at here is that it's more of an opportunity for us to have a bit of fun. And one thing I was thinking of is we could start to introduce a distinction between alienable and inalienable possession. So we may have two kinds of possessive forms. One is going to use the inherited genitive, and it's just going to look like, I don't know, possessor, possessum, I think it would be in this language. So it would be, if we want to say Lake of the Crow, so kind of a cool name for something, right? This would be the inherited strategy. And I was thinking we could use this for inalienable possession. So obviously Lake of the Crow is not inalienable possession. Side note, alienable versus inalienable possession. I should probably explain that. Alienable possession is to express possession for things that could be taken away from you, that could be alienated from you, right? So my mug, this would be alienable possession. Inalienable possession would be for things like body parts, sometimes certain kinship terms, family members, things like that. So things that cannot easily be taken away from you. And so what I was thinking of is we have two strategies. One is, let's just write it down so we have some concrete stuff. So Lake of the Crow, what is lake? Actually, we're going to be having possessor, possessum, right? So crow is huask, and then lake is month. Huask month. So this is literally crow lake. But then if we wanted to have a second type of possession, we could use a dative, which is a path. There's a pathway from a dative case to a sort of a possessive or genitive meaning in a lot of languages, especially in the Balkans. And this might look something more like either huascanum math, so crow dative lake, or month huascanum lake crow dative. And maybe this would be the strategy we use for our alienable possession. Potential. I really love the sound of month huascanum and just having this anum form being used more often than it is. Yeah, so that's some possibility. That is some possibility. I guess you can't really say some possibility, but it's a possibility. All right. So, given that we have all of these different declension classes, we start to wonder. What I'm starting to wonder is, could we evolve this further? Because we're seeing, where is the proto? I'm sorry, I need to go to the protocol grammar. We have more case forms distinguished in the proto-language. We have nominative and genitive being distinct. We have locative and instrumental being distinct. So we start to see this winnowing down of case markers. And I wonder just how far we want to go with that. I'd definitely like to keep the anum, the dative case marker. But maybe we can do something. Maybe we can do something where we winnow it down a bit. Maybe there would be like a classical Lenethailef and then a vernacular Lenethailef or something like that. I don't know. These are just things that occurred to me. I really like the three stems. I think that should stay. I don't entirely love the accusative case, just on a purely shallow level. I don't know, like choskoich, astamich, koluch, it's fine. I don't know. For some reason, it doesn't give me the same feel as astamanum and tamaneven, this kind of thing. I don't know. This is one of those strange things. I should, before we go much further, point out the irregular nouns. We have so far two irregular nouns, and these are super common nouns. I think that we can justify having them be quite irregular. These are the total regular outputs of sound change, but they produced morphological irregularity, as so often happens. So we have one. Let's get our case markers over here so we can see. There we go. So we have one in the nominative, Yanich in the accusative, Wanenum in the dative, Wanuf in the similative, Waneven in the causal, and then Wanth in the comitative, and Wan in the locative and instrumental. So lots going on there. Similarly with Öi, meaning thing, we have Öi, Euch, Onum, Of, even, of, Om. And this is just a very small word in the proto-language. I believe it's Oyo is the protoform that it comes from. And so, yeah, a lot got worn down there. Raven asks for a refresher on where sh came from. Sh. Do we have a sh? I'm blanking on whether I don't believe we have a sh in this language. I could be completely wrong. Let me revisit the sound changes. Ah, yes, we do. You're right. We do have a sh. Okay, so then the fact that I didn't even know we had one indicates that I don't know where it came from. So let's find out. I think it comes from palatalization affecting an... sorry, this is not going to be too interesting. Let me just read these very difficult to read rules. You know what? Let's find a form that has a sh and work backwards. Okay, so where are we going? So we have the presumptive form of the verb is going to have a sh. What did that look like in the proto-language? Let's see. Presumptive. Ahwe. Okay, so I think what happened is, let's take a form with ahwe. By the way, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on who told me, but the idea of making an automatic paradigm generator. You can see the formula there. I've done it, so there won't be so much copying and pasting from now on. So let's take this paradigm here. I know we're talking about nouns now, but this comes up in verbs, so let's roll with it. Let me make sure we have all of the correct sound changes. Excuse me while I copy this. Make sure we've got the latest version of the rules. And then let's go back to our paradigm. And let's see. So let's first of all just make sure it still works. And yes, you're not able to see the output, so I will... No luck there. I'll just move myself briefly over here. Hello. There we go. Okay, so somaneahwe is the thing that is giving us samanesh. So let's trace the evolution of that. Okay. Unfortunately, you can't resize this for some reason, but let's find the spot where it happens. Okay, so the palatalized dorsals are going to front. What are the specifics of that rule? The palatalized dorsal fronting. So plus continuant minus sonorant. We're going to translate this this rule into plain English. Plus continuant minus sonorant plus dorsal plus palatalized. So this is going to be dorsal fricatives are essentially going to become coronal stridents like sh and j. So ch and r are going to become sh and j, when they are palatalized. So hia and ria are going to become sh and ja. Kind of, yeah, so that's where that comes from. So we go from so, oh my goodness, sieu mia nye to sieu mia nye, right? Like you do. I guess you could ask questions about the naturalness of every stage in this derivation, but in this case, this is where we get that form from. All right. So, what I think we can do now is try and hunt for some more irregular nouns. I want us to spend about 10 more minutes on nouns before we move on to verbs. Yeah, I know it's a thing. It's open to revisiting, but I kind of like the way it's turned out so far. So I'm hesitant to tinker too much more. I'll put myself back over on the right because it feels weird to be on the left. Okay, so there we go. Irregular nouns. So we have what's going to make a noun irregular in this in Lenethailef. Probably being short and being very vowel heavy. This is probably where we're going to find the most wonkiness. Technical term there. So let's find a little noun that we can use. Oh, well, let's see what happens to the demonstrative, which is oka. So we'll take oka here. We will go to our grammar. We will write in oka. Oh, look at that. Magic. So let's put these in to our paradigm generator. And apply. Okay, so that was not as fun as I'd thought. So let's see what we get. So in the Lenethailef grammar, oka would probably be an a stem if it were regular. Let's verify that it is regular before we make any rash generalizations as to whether it's fun or not. I'll just put it here for now. These syncretic forms we can just delete. So it looks like we have och for the stem A, for the stem B. So we can rewrite this as och. Oops. Sorry, I still have to copy and paste while I'm on the Windows machine. Aroich, excuse me. Aranum. Arof. Arriven. Yeah, this looks pretty regular. And then stem C is just ora, oraf, and oram. Ah, too bad. Too bad. Well, our demonstrative is fairly regular. Who'd have thought? So then we can start to make a little... Let's make a little... I don't know where we're going to put this. Our Lenethailef sheet is becoming unwieldy. But let's make a little lexicon down here where we have the form, gloss, actually the morphological information, and then the gloss. So we have och, which is the demonstrative, and this is an A stem. So it's a stem class. Cool. Let's find something else. And even if we can't find anything too irregular, it's still kind of fun to do some derivations. Where do they live? Where do they live? Proto-lexicon, okay. Maybe solo. That could be. Khata. Khata, excuse me. Well, why don't we try it? This is another, it's another a stem. Let's not do that. Let's find something that's a schwa stem. Those are, I think, more sota. Let's see what we can do with sota. See if it's regular or not. I don't have a good instinct as to whether something's going to be regular or irregular before running it through the sound changes. That's what happens when you've got a ridiculously complicated set of sound changes sometimes. Yeah, Raven, it's true. The I mutation messes vowels up and approximates in the root. Let's see if we can find something like that before. Well, we'll do sota as well, just because it's here. See if there's anything fun about it. And let's find something with some, or we could just make something up. I mean, right? We are making up the language. So what would be the most perverse root possible? Something like Khayami or something like that. That could work. Sahwa could be a good one. Yep. Okay, let's do those. And maybe it'll break. Hopefully not. If it breaks, it just means I have another late night of messing with the sound changes ahead of me. Khayami, and the other one was, oops, I guess I accidentally pasted instead of copied. Would not be the first time. Oops. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't like it. We need, that's why. We need this. And now it still doesn't like it. Oh, Quayne, you found an exception. You found something that this cannot handle yet. Well, I won't debug that on screen because that would be tremendously boring, but that's another to-do for me. Okay, well, let's try making something a little... I'm just going to make a little note to myself down here. Where are my little notes to self? I don't know. Okay. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Let's just change it very, very slightly so that we don't lose that first schwa. Where are we? Maybe something like sahwa. So let's see if it likes that any better. Yeah, it does. Okay. Quayne, you took it from the lexicon. Oh no. Oh no. Goodness gracious. Well, you've done a service. You've done a service to the language. Okay. So let's see. we have sot, sedich. That should coalesce. I think it's probably because of this. Oh, he's doing it live. Always dangerous. Always dangerous. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So what do we have here? We have a paradigm sot, which claims to be a schwa paradigm. I think this will end up being regular. Yeah, let's just double check. The schwa stems go nothing, sedich, sedenum, seduf, sedeven, sot, and soth. Oh, there is a little bit of a difference here. This is kind of interesting. So instead of having sot, sot, or soth, soth, we have sot, soth because, let's take a look at the derivation of one of these soth forms. Sotama. This is interesting. So what happens is we have our lenition happening between vowels and sonorants. So we go from sodma to sothma, and then this sonorant drops out, and so we have soth, which devoices to give us soth. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. Curious. Depending on what this word is, I would expect that to get analogized out, unless it's a super common word. I don't think we had a meaning for that, did we? Oh, we did. That's, what is that? I don't know. Call and remember one thing that you've just done. Challenge. Sota, hand. Oh, well, that could actually, I don't know. Maybe there'd be some fossilized form, soth, for, what would it be? It would be, excuse me, the comitative with the hand. I don't know. Oh no, sorry, it's the locative instrumental. Oh yeah, well that actually could work. Soth. So there's a fossilized form, soth, maybe like an adverbial meaning by hand. I think we should keep that fossilized form. Even though, oh, and then let's spell it in the romanization. Okay, so what else do we have? We have this chem. And what is that? That is an I stem, or an E stem, I guess I should say. So let's go over here. Does it work? Chem, null suffix with the stem, null suffix with stem A. Oh, the terminology is getting intense. But the green stem, null suffix with the green stem. For nominative genitive, for accusative, chamich. So we have the blue stem, which is going to be chami, or maybe it's just chum and it's ich, inem, if, even. That might be the case. Yeah, I think that actually is the case. So let's just keep that. We can resegment these. Okay. So chamich, chaminum, chamif, chamiven. This is what we have here. And then chimaf, chimam. So the orange stem is going to be chima. Yeah, okay, regular. All right, let's see what else we have. Sos, sahwa, which doesn't have a meaning yet. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I let me move this. I don't know, where do I put this? There's too much stuff on the there's too much stuff everywhere. Maybe, well, I'll just move myself here so you can see what I was referring to briefly, hopefully. And then I will, so those on YouTube later, you can pause that and see if you're curious. Sorry about that again. Because the chat comes out. I don't know. I got no real estate. This is my issue. Okay, so then what is next? Actually, I'm looking at the time. Given that we're going to have to go off at 3 Eastern, I should probably stop the noun discussion for now. Yeah, sorry. I'll stop the noun discussion for now because we've got verb stuff to do, and I want to make sure we get it in. So I'll go back to the full screen YouTube. Thanks. Sorry for cutting us off like that, but we got verbs to look at. So check out the next video where you'll see all about verbs, right?